Hello. It's the late afternoon show. Let's see, if you're on the West Coast, it is 5 o'clock, so you're just getting out of work. If you're on the East Coast, it's dinner time. So, what you eating? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Let's see. So, the day's winding down, and this is really, kind of me talking about what I thought was interesting today. What was going on today that I thought was interesting? I mean, we could talk about the leaked group chat thing with the Houthis. that that's pretty fun. I don't know. I don't know if it's funny or just interesting that it doesn't matter at what level you are. You're just a lot of times you're just hanging out with the boys. It seems like. But I don't know. I don't know. It is kind of funny that they just let in some random guy. Okay, you know what I was thinking though? Imagine being that reporter, right? And I'm pretty sure it's like linked to his phone or maybe his laptop. Who knows how these group chats work? The Signal group chat for the government, right? Imagine you just like pick up your phone and you get this invite, and in there they're like this. There's JD Vance and all these people talking about like bombing Houthis, and how okay, this is what I was thinking. Okay, how long was he in that chat room before he decides to say hi? You know what I mean? Like, hey, guys, I don't think you meant to add me here. So that was pretty interesting. But at the end of the day, I mean, I kind of agree what someone said. It was like they said that I mean, the bombing was successful. It's not like anything classified was really leaked. But it could have gone worse, I guess. That I think that's the real issue, right? Nothing bad happened, but it could have been worse. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. What else that was very interesting that I saw today? Let's see. I saw that I believe Trump trying to lower trying to lower the housing prices through the executive branch, which I always find that's very interesting, because what's very interesting is that before Trump, I always thought that the president really doesn't do anything, but it seems like he could do a whole lot because like what's very interesting, right, is when maybe it's just that it just happens that he got all three. Like they have the Republicans have all three branches under control. But what's very interesting is that when like a Democrat's in there or any other president, not even just Democrat, just any other president is in there, they always say like, "Oh, I wanted to do this, but Congress blocked me. I wanted to do that, but the other guys blocked me." Right, and it seems like Trump could do whatever he wants. Because how many times did we hear, right, already in the news that they're like, we don't know if this is even constitutional, right? And they're like, nobody's even checking. no one's even, Nobody is even doing anything about it. So, what else is in the news that I saw was interesting? Uh, there was something I don't know if it's old or new, but I found it very interesting. It was some scientists in Sweden. They developed a way to recycle solar panels, the solar cells, basically, without using all these harsh chemicals. So I think that was very interesting. Kind of gives me hope for the future in a way, because the issue with solar is all the stuff. It's the solar cells cost money, and then after a while they degrade, and you gotta get new solar cells, and those end up in the trash. Oh, but you know what the solar cells really remind me of, though, what I found very interesting. What's terrible, I guess, in a way, is the first few generations of people that bought into solar. They got shafted. I remember like this was like 010, maybe 2010 to 2012, somewhere around in that range, right? I remember when I was working in that finance company that one of the people there, he was trying to get solar panels for his house, right? And back in those times, to get solar panels in your house was super pricey. I remember he told us that to get his house, get solar panels on his roof, it was $200,000 back then. And what is crazy is that if he was to do that now, probably that same set of solar panels would have been closer to like 50,000, somewhere around there, right? So that first generation of people that got solar panels on their house, they got shafted, right? Because the, I don't know if you guys have seen the first generation solar. They were big. It was bulky. It looked terrible. Oh, what's going on here? What did I press? Oh, sorry, pressed the wrong button. They were big. They were bulky. They were inefficient. It was just terrible. So yeah, that first generation of people got solar panels. Woo! I feel bad for you guys. But yeah, solar panels are not that expensive right now. I don't feel like they are. Maybe not. So, but I do think that's very interesting that some scientists in Sweden are able to basically recycle old solar panels and use them again. And supposedly there's no degrade because the issue is that when you recycle these things in batteries and whatnot, you only get like 60% of the power that you got before. So I think that's very cool. But you know what I was thinking about, right? And if anyone out there knows anything about real engineering or anything, you know what I was thinking? To be really efficient, why don't they add like some sort of... I'm sitting here watching cars drive by. Why don't they add some sort of like windmill power generator thingy on the top of cars? Has anyone thought about this? I don't know why I'm thinking about this. Remember, I'm just thinking about random things. But like some kind of like on the top, it'll look ugly for sure, but on the top of your car, like a windmill, and as you're driving, it spins the turbine, and it sends power to a battery or something, and then maybe it can, you could do something small like roll down your windows or something. Because I think what I'm thinking the issue is that they maybe will have power issues storing the battery, storing the power for you to use later. They make you pay for energy. Oh, hey Jay, haven't seen you in a while. That's yeah, they make you pay for the energy. That's the thing about solar. But I don't know. I didn't get solar panels in my house, but I'm just thinking. I know some people were able to make like a little bit uh, from their solar panels. Whatever happened to? I thought Elon wanted solar roofs or something. I thought that was a thing for a little bit. I thought they wanted to like, which I mean, it sounds like a really good idea, is to replace the roofing tiles on your house with little tiny mini solar tiles or something like that. I thought that seemed like a great idea. It just no one's got the money for that. Let's be real, guys. Let's be real. No one wants to spend money on that. It seems like a good idea. I feel like down the road, if there was a real zombie apocalypse, you're gonna wish you had solar panels, so you could at least get some power. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like putting some sort of wind turbine thing on your car, so when your car drives, it could generate some power, some battery. Maybe someone should look into that. It feels like that's a good idea. Let me think, how would it work? I think the issue is that they can't have it go directly into your main... If you have an electric car. How do I feel about the stock market crashing? Did I address this before, Jay? Let me think. How do I feel about it? Okay, this is how I feel about it, okay? I can't feel anything about it if I don't have any stocks. You know what I mean? I'm not even in the game. I sold off all my stocks a long time ago, and I never bought back into the market. So that's how I feel about the stock market crashing. You can't crash something I don't have. But overall, how do I feel about it crashing? All right, let me think. I feel it like it is bad for people that are close to retirement. For the people that are still working and whatnot, it's just paper money. That's what I think about the stock market. Because how it affects the everyday person, that's their 401k, you know. That's what you're going to live off of when you retire. So if you're close, the closer you are to retirement, the worse you're going to feel about this because you know you have to take it out once you get there. But if you're in your 40s, 30s, maybe even your 50s, it'll eventually rebound. I'm pretty sure. But if you're like I mean, okay, here's the other thing though. Even stockbrokers make money on both sides of the trade. If it goes down, there's someone that makes money. The money goes somewhere. There's a person out there right now that's loving the stock market crashing. You know, because they get the short positions and you can make money off it going down. No one ever thinks about that. I mean, maybe the regular guy doesn't think about that. They only think about companies going up. But you have to think about the negative side too. There's someone that makes money on the company going down. So that money's going somewhere. Where does it go? Imagine, imagine you're like the crazy person that took short positions on Tesla right when, right when Elon, right when Trump won. Imagine you're like, and you know the Tesla stock started to surge, like even leading up to it when they announced Trump was winning, his stock, the Tesla stocks were surging. Imagine you're like, no, because I remember when I was working in the finance, not finance, but like financial advisor company that I was with. Um, oh, you think the world's gonna end? Okay, we can get back. We can get on that if you want. Um, but I remember when I was working at the financial advisor company, they were saying there's the saying that the guy who kept on drilling into us. He's like, if everybody is smiling, it's the time for you to get out. When everyone's crying, it's time for you to get in. So I mean, this could be the time for you to get in, or unless, but this is like the worst timing though in a way because it's so unpredictable. All right, Mr. J, you think the world's gonna end? How would it end though? I feel like it's really hard for everything to collapse at the same time, for it to completely end, unless I feel. Did you guys ever watch that movie that was on Netflix? This is it or something like that. It's the one where they're like going on vacation and like the internet goes down. I think it's called. I think it's called This Is It or This Is the End. And they're like they're like vacationing in a small-ish town, and then the internet goes down, and then the TV goes down, the power grid goes down, and it's basically a idea of how if another country would basically shut down America. I feel like if it was the end, that would be the way it ends. Like, I can totally see that. Realistically, I feel like if you want to talk about the end, the end, um, yeah, there's the end where you're talking about where everyone loses a lot of money. But here's the thing about money. Money is just a number. It can be rebuilt. You know, like money just, especially ever since we got off, America got off the gold standard. Money hasn't been real for a long time. I've been going down a rabbit hole about that, but it's just a number, right? So as long as, and if everyone's poor and we're all poor together, then we're all the same. So we didn't really lose much. Because think about it, okay? If you're down in the dumps, right? Your neighbor's down too. That means you're not paying rent. That means the people who work for themselves will survive. Maybe. I know the first people that were gonna have a really hard time are actually okay, but here's the thing, Jay, about people. I feel like the everyday person, to be really honest, would be okay. If every thing starts going to crap town, I feel like the people that don't know how to do anything themselves will have a really really hard time. As long as you have your skills, and then maybe you have just a few group, like a small group of friends or your neighbors, you'll be okay. You guys just take care of each other, you know? I've been making more of an effort to connect with my neighbors because if things go sideways, if things go sideways, you're gonna need your neighbors. You're gonna band together. You know, the worst is if you things go sideways and you're not friends with your neighbor, and and they betray you. So that would be bad. But yeah, I think if we all become poor, we're all poor together. So I don't think it matters that much. Think about it. If we all start, oh, it'll be like the Rome's clubs, maybe. I mean, that's okay. Here's this thing. I mean, I guess we could talk about this. It's kind of related. I saw this report today, and this goes back to what things that I found interesting today. I saw this report today that they were saying that they feel like people are not going to pay their taxes this year or do funky things with their taxes because um, how Doge kind of like gutted the IRS, and they don't have the resources to follow up on any of these filings. So that's something that I thought that was very interesting today. That they feel like this year, I think they're projecting a 10% loss in tax income from taxes because they're already expecting people to be funky with their taxes. So that was something that I thought was very interesting. That happened today. It was in the news that I saw. That was very interesting. I already filed my taxes, so there's no funky business going on. But they're saying that they're projecting like a 10% loss, and that's not gonna help with all the other things that are going on right now. So, ooh, you could survive by being a ranch hand. I mean, okay, here, Jay. This is what we do. Okay, I got it. You got me going. Okay, this is what we do. We form a cult. That's what we need to do, like a commune, right? Um, there's like land, and you just basically start squatting in an area next to a lake because you need water, right? And we just start growing our own things, and as you grow it, people will come, right? Like you just start, and then once your community gets big enough, they can't kick you off. I'm talking about end of day stuff. Okay, we're definitely not there yet. But if things get real sour, that's what we do. You just start like a commune. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Um, yeah, that's what we do. I'm gonna save America right there. Okay, this is what we do. You gotta pick a spot that can grow stuff though. Maybe up north, so it won't be so hot. But ooh, Texas has those hogs. Sorry, it's dusty. It's hot out here, so I have the AC on, and it's getting dusty. Ooh, but Texas has those hogs that we can go. Oh yeah, no. I got it. We're all gonna travel to. There's a river in the northern New York area, and I remember watching. There's a series. I think it's called Dirty. No, it's not Dirty Jobs, but it's kind of like an odd job show. And one of the guys up there in this river in the northern New York area. If you guys are from there, you might know what river it is. I have no idea because I'm not from there. But it's in the wilderness, right? And he built. He's the only, I think, licensed eel fisherman around in that area, and he's just by himself. and he built these like wood like funnels, and that's how they catch eels. Is you build like these kind of funnels, and as the water flows through it, the eels flow into it, and then they get trapped, and then he catches them and he smokes them and he sells them, right? And it's like it's pretty pricey. It's like $20 a pound or something, or for one of his smoked eels. That's what we do. We're gonna, if everything goes to the end, right, and we're all broke, we need to start like a commune, right? And this is we're gonna go to Eel Town, right? Because you need a sustainable food source for everybody, right? That can be easily caught. So we got eel, we have water. Water we can grow vegetables. We grow vegetables. We have eel with the vegetables. Then we get some chickens. Chickens make manure. I mean, there's like they can help compost. Boom, 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 boom. Get a little community going. We're out in the wilderness. And yeah, what else do you need? You got food, and then as people learn about your thing, you're gonna get more people. You're gonna get more like helper or deckhands and or ranchers or whatever, and you can build a whole community. Boom. That's what we're gonna do if everything goes bad. Because think about it, if everything goes bad, I'm not paying rent or mortgage anymore, right? Maybe we all just squat in our houses. And if enough people squat in their own houses or apartments or whatever, they can't kick everybody out. What are the landlords gonna do? So yeah, that's that. Okay, what else was very interesting in the news today? If you guys missed my earlier one, I saw that 23andMe are going bankrupt, and I was saying that are there clones out there? Like I was saying that this is a theory that if there is cloning technology, Elon is definitely on cloning technology. He would love to clone himself because space travel is a long-term project, right? It's not a close project. Even going to Mars, I know about landlording, they'll want their money, but if everybody stops and nobody has any money, even the police, right? Or they have houses and stuff. If they stop too, there's nothing to enforce anything. Then it's just what it is. um, where we're going? Oh yeah, the cloning thing. Oh, we're gonna go back to that real quick. I feel like it's out there because, like I said before they were cloning sheep back in like the 90s, right? Was that when it was? Like, or early 2000s, late 90s, they were able to clone that sheep. But, okay, here's the thing, Jay. If everybody goes down, right, money is just a number. It doesn't mean anything. What good is your money when there are no tomatoes, to, you can't buy tomatoes? Because what am I going to do with your money when I need tomatoes? Like it could be whatever, right? So we'll just go to barter system. That's when everyone runs out when everyone gets down to nitty gritty and things are tough. We're just gonna be trading. So what do we need money for? I don't know. That's just an idea because you think about if you played like Fallout, right, or any of those games, when they do post apocalypse games, their money becomes like something weird. Like if you are familiar with the Fallout series, their money became bottle caps. And it's just a tool to trade, right? Because you're just trading, but this is just what we use as the standardized thing to trade with, and that's what money is right now. But it's just pieces of paper and numbers on a screen. It doesn't really keep you warm. At the end of the day, it doesn't. I mean, because it lets you burn it. You know those stories of like El Chapo or whoever, like he escaped and he had all that money and then he was deep in the forest and they were cold and then they started burning stacks of money and it was literally like a stack of $10,000, like a little packet of $10,000, right? And it'll keep you warm for like 30 minutes, and they burn like $1 million or $200,000 or something. At the end of the day, it's just paper. Doesn't mean anything unless you can trade it for something. Um, yeah, so if we are, I'm telling you, if we all get into the dumps and we're all, struggling, we're all gonna start trading. You grow your own tomatoes, and I'm gonna trade my tomatoes, like 4 tomatoes for one of your eggs, and then I can get your. If I get 2, 3 eggs together, I could trade those 2, 3 eggs for a piece. Like maybe 2 jugs of milk, and it would just keep on going. And then the 2 jugs of milk, we could trade that for a coat, and we'll just keep on going, and we'll just rebuild. But this is only if it gets real bad. We're definitely not there yet. All right, what else were we talking? Oh, cloning. Let me get back to cloning. All right. So I saw 23andMe going down, and it got me thinking about cloning because you you send them your DNA, and then they do all these tests, and that means that data is out there. And I don't know why. That got me thinking about cloning. I did one of those 23andMe's, and do you know what it said? It said I was from Asia. I was so mad. I was like, I paid money to find out that I was from Asia. Oh, that was terrible. But yeah, they had cloning technology back in the 90s. There was just an agreement that they said that they're not gonna do human testing. But I'm telling you, somewhere out there, some CIA labs somewhere, they're doing some human testing. Uh, they're doing some, you know, human testing on cloning. But here's one thing that I don't think people realize. Okay, if you clone something, they're gonna be you as a baby basically because you can't create a whole body. That's crazy. More Most realistic thing is that they get all your genetic information and they imprint that into an embryo, and then like they make the embryo, and then they they like test tube it out, and then it'll be a little baby, and that baby will just be you but small, and it'll grow up. And then what I was really thinking about is that you personally, like, as who you are is made up from your experiences, but your clone is not going to live through the same life that you live, so technically your clone would not be you at all. It would just be your body in a way. You know what I'm trying to say? Where it's just your body, but the mind, the way it thinks, even it's like, yeah, like, you know what I mean. It's you, your body, and maybe the essence of who you are, but the way it thinks and its experiences are completely different than you, so it's not going to be you. You know what I mean? So I don't know why I was thinking about that today, and I just thought that was a very interesting thought, that you see all these cloning things, and they do these things where they're like, oh, the clone is exactly the same as that as you or whatever, but it's not. For example, um just think about pop culture wise. Like, I watched a bunch of movies when I was little, and that shaped a big part of my childhood. Like, for example, I watched Child's Play, Chucky, and I was scared of dolls for the longest time because I was thinking of Chucky, or I was afraid to be in a dark room by myself because I was afraid of the face huggers from Aliens, because I watched that when I was little and it made a big impact. And so I was always afraid to be in a dark room by myself when I was little. I was like, oh my God, a face hugger is gonna come and get me. And it didn't help. I had a brother and a cousin that love to like mess with me. And so yeah, that's a big part. So that was a big part, and my clone is not gonna go through that. It's not gonna know what 9/11 is. It's not gonna live. I was a latchkey kid, so I basically did everything myself, went home, cooked my own food, did my own homework. My parents came home at like 8 or 9 o'clock. They didn't check my homework. So if I messed up on my homework, that's me. Ooh, see? Okay, Jay, see? You believe you saw something paranormal, but your clone might not have experienced that. So it's a different person. And that paranormal like experience could have shaped who you are. Like in some subtle way. So I don't know why I was thinking about clones a lot today. I swear that 23andMe going bankrupt got me thinking about clones and thinking about superhumans. If you guys don't know, there was a national, it's like a worldwide agreement that they're not supposed to do a CRISPR, which is genetically altered humans. But I'm telling you, that's out there somewhere. Some super kid is out there. The reason why they don't want to do that is because if they started genetically oh my god, altering humans, like make them better, faster, stronger, smarter, whatever, eventually those genetically enhanced humans will start looking at us normies like we're inferior, and they're gonna, this is just what I think, they're gonna start looking at us like we're inferior, like apes. And if there's enough of them, eventually they're gonna be like, yo, let's get rid of these normies out here. And so there was an international agreement for them not to do that. But I'm telling you, if I was China or even some CIA, you know, dark op group, I would totally make a superhuman baby and train it, super soldiers or super scholar, super professor, whatever, super scientist, and just set up your country to be the next dominant superpower. If you get enough of them, you know, you get enough like genetically enhanced super smart humans, they can, in your country, they can make you gotta think how the military thinks, okay? They can make better bombs, better ships and stuff than the other guy, and or they can fight fast, fight better than the other guy or whatever. And yeah, so I'm telling you, that's a thing. That's definitely a thing. I mean, I feel like here's a thought that I had today as well. Do you feel like do you feel like people are more attractive now or back in the olden times? I was thinking about this today. I know, like, of course, beauty standards change over time, but I feel like, or maybe because right now, in 2025, fitness is in. I feel like fitness is in, and so maybe you're just seeing more people being more fit, and back then they were more into just being skinny. Maybe I'm just talking about women. Like I feel like this new generation of women are more into fitness. Back in the old days, they were just being into being skinny. Like, no, I'm just skinny. Like being skinny fat or whatever, and that was fine. But I feel like maybe just facial features wise, I don't know. Okay, I stress on things they did because they didn't have to do anything. Wait, they didn't have anything to do. Wait, Jay, are you talking about women, or are you talking about the government scientists messing up doing all kinds of random research? Yeah, that's the part I wonder though. I wonder about all kinds of that stuff. But that's no, the internet. Well, I know there's this thing they say about the internet that's different from let's say if you grew up in the 90s, early 2000s. Well, not even early 2000s because they had internet back then. Um, is that the look of people have changed a lot because now you see people all over the country, all over the world, and you imitate that look. Before, it would be if you're in California, there was a California look. You know what I mean? And if you're in New York, there was a New York look, New York style. And if you're in the Midwest, there was a Midwest style, or wherever. There's the style from that region in that area. But now with the internet, and I see people from New York, you see people from California, you see people from Mississippi or wherever, the style is now the internet style. Like whatever people look online, you just imitate that look. So that could be it, and maybe that's why I feel like people just seem more attractive. Like the newer generation just seems more attractive now. Maybe because they have more resources, like for them to know what the style is. And back then, if you were um, some like guy, that didn't try very hard, or whatever, you can get by. Um, I don't know. All right, but I gotta get going. Uh, it's getting hot in here. I think that's all the stuff that I found really interesting today. Maybe tomorrow we'll talk again. We'll find out what else is interesting for tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you.